Hey, awesome people. Welcome back to the channel. So, if you've been following along, to all those that have subscribed, you're awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So I started this Getty Street, right? So I like to write as a hobby. I write as a profession as well. I do technical writing for one of the big institutions in America. But I also like to write fiction. I like to write poetry. Writing is one of those things that I enjoy. And, so I had started this Getty Street story, and we're about 4 chapters in. It's not far gone. But what I've been doing right now is actually working on my novel. That sounds so pretentious. I'm working on a novel. I'm working on this long story that I had started in my early 20s. I wrote 2 books basically about this character and his best friends and this kind of serial killer that's attacking them from another world. And I kind of compare it to Scream meets Alice in Wonderland, right? And it's super fun. It's a great read, I think, and I think you would thoroughly enjoy it. But I basically took these 2 original novels that I wrote, one just a couple years ago, and then the first one that I wrote like when I was in my early 20s, and parts of it read like, I was in my early 20s, and it needed some work, and I've always been a little hesitant to go back and do the editing that needed to be done to it, but I've decided to basically take the second book called Vicious and take the third book, which I've just completed, and we're going to combine them into one very epic story about Jake Freeman and his friends. And so that's kind of what's happening. And it's going to take work. I luckily have some amazing people that I'm going to be working with to help me edit the novel. But it's going to be a year-long process. So I'm really going to be focusing on that in terms of like my writing with my free time. So we're not going to get much Getty Street, I think, for the rest of the year. But I did want to do the story time. I really like that as a type of episode. So what I thought I'd do is share some of my completed work and go from there. I do have a published book called Ghost in This House, Stories and Poems by Shane Scott. This is available on Amazon. I mean, look at that. That's scary as fuck. And so Ghost in This House, Shane Scott, Stories and Poems. How does Trixie do it? She like holds her hand behind it. I guess that's like with makeup, so it doesn't really work well. But anyway, so this is available on Amazon. You can get it in paperback like this, right? Here's a picture of me and a little blurb about what it is and who I am right there. And again, it's available in paperback and on Kindle. So you can go ahead and jump online. I have the link here on my YouTube channel if you wanted to go check it out. So, yeah. So today, anyways, I wanted to start by reading... I hope you didn't hear that horrible... See, I'm still learning hitting microphones, so forgive me. But anyway, so I wanted to read one of my favorite stories in this collection. It's called Blue. When I had stopped, I'd given up on writing pretty much for a big chunk of time, and I found myself finally with the mental room, I guess, mental capacity, I suppose. Like I finally wasn't struggling so much with a lot of my personal life, and was able to kind of focus on my art. And Blue was one of the first things that I was able to work on during that period. So it's kind of a near and dear story to me. So I'm going to go ahead and read the first 3 to 4 chapters out of it. Probably just the first 3. I don't want this to go too long. So here we go. Blue. Blue sits in her car. Sweat beads her forehead as she listens to the radio. Oscar waits behind her in his safety seat. He sulks and whines. An action figure hangs from one chubby hand. His car seat is a bulky, obnoxious contraption. He hates it as much as she does. Francis, her dog, pants at her side, patiently staring at nothing. He rests in the passenger seat. Such a good dog, she thinks. She focuses on the radio. China and Russia declare war on the United States on this day, March 3rd, the man says. His voice cracks. He stops speaking and starts again. Words sputter. He is terrified. Satellites have detected over 1,000 missiles inbound over the Arctic and Pacific Oceans. The first bombs are due to arrive in 20 minutes along the western seaboard. Evacuate all cities. Evacuate all cities. Outside her window stands cacti. Cacti and more cacti with various scrub brushes and green-trunked Palo Verde trees. She pants with Francis, unsure what to do. Go back into the city? He said to evacuate. We're at war. They sit parked along the highway to Payson, a small mountain city. They're 30 minutes or so from their home in Chandler, a suburb of Phoenix. Blue cannot see the city. She is cradled by mountains on the side of the road. Car after car streaks by her. Some honk. Where are they trying to go? The bombs drop. She looks at her phone where text messages pile up. In 15 minutes. Do I wait here? Will the bomb drop near here? What of Oscar? He's just 4. He's just a baby. Tears splash her cheeks. They hit her phone's screen and run down its surface. She listens to the radio. Chills rack her body. Francis sits beside her, oblivious. She envies him. Oscar pouts and makes noises to himself. The car idles and wind rushes in through the open driver's side window. The bombs rush towards them. 2. Where the fuck is he? Blue screams. Her labor pains rip. She feels a pool of wetness near her bottom. She fears its blood. What day? What today? Why today of all days? Why today? The nurse grabs her hand and rubs it gently. I'm sorry, Susan. We've called, I promise. Call me Blue. The window shades are up. Sunlight pours into the hospital room. All is white and shiny metal chrome. A doctor busies herself between Blue's legs. She feels cold metal. She feels slick, gloved fingers probe. Pain tears across her abdomen. It's a horror, a freak show, this pain. It's inhuman. Try again, would you? Why today, Heath? Why today? The nurse releases her hand, grabs the phone off the nearby table, and scurries out of the room to the hallway. Blue sees her pace back and forth. The nurse is young. Her face is soft and plump. Blue scowls, looks away, looks again. The nurse comes back in, frowning. So sorry, Blue. No answer. I left a voicemail again and said it's urgent, that you're having the baby. The pain escalates. She feels the head. It engulfs her, swarms her consciousness. Heath is forgotten. The sun shines, warming her exposed legs. She focuses on this warmth. The doctor seduces her to push. Push. Push! And she does. She feels this baby will split her open like a ripe pumpkin. He's out. Pulled to a nearby table. Suction applied to his nose and mouth, and he wails. Blue looks around the nurse, curious, seeing his chubby purple arms covered in mucus and blood. She smiles a faint, half-hearted smile. Heath's face returns to her mind. It dances there. She wills it away. It returns again and again. Would you like to hold your son? The nurse says. She beckons with the infant. He whimpers now. His fists clenched tight, little nuggets. Dazed, the sunlight marvels him. He squints. His eyes are foggy. They swim with past life memories, perhaps. No, Blue says. She turns to her phone, grabbing it. She calls Heath. No answer. She tosses it across the room. It smashes against the wall in pieces of modern civilization. It's your boy, Blue. I bet if you just gave him a chance. The nurse is now at the side of the table. No, I don't want him. It's cold and final. She scowls again. The nurse responds in kind, handing the baby to an assistant who carts him away. Why today, Heath? Why today of all days? 3. No, 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 Blue says. It's a hot rush of words. Spittle flies from her mouth onto the steering wheel. She looks up. The rearview mirror shows Oscar. His whining abated, he stares out the window at the desert scene. An action figure still hangs limp in his hand. It's midday on a Sunday. Cars now stream past him on the highway, no doubt fleeing from Phoenix. It's a big target for the Russians and Chinese. Blue's mind freezes, releases, freezes again. She doesn't know what to do. Follow the stream of vehicles north towards Payson, or stay here, midway between the city below and the mountains above. She remembers reading or hearing somewhere missile silos are dotted along the Mongolian rim, the high country's leading edge. You have 10 minutes to evacuate all cities. The first bombs are due to arrive in 10 minutes and 15 seconds. Stunned silence follows. Blue stares unblinking. Her eyes dry. She blinks. 9 minutes until first bombs arrive. Bombs confirmed for Los Angeles, Seattle, San Francisco, San Diego, Salt Lake City, Phoenix, San Antonio. Blue's breath catches like fabric on a cactus spine. She jumps out of the car, wide-eyed. She spins around, scanning the area, looking for a refuge. Frances bolts out of the passenger seat at the opportunity for new smells. She thinks, a cave. I need to find a cave. Somewhere. There's got to be something fucking somewhere. Oscar sees her spinning around and begins to undo his car seat's buckle. His little fat hands work the clasp. He grunts. Drops his action figure. It clinks to the car floor below, joining empty chip bags and sticky Starbucks cups. He succeeds and scrambles forward. Sliding into the driver's seat, he sits and stares at his mother. She panics. Her hands keep clutching each other. They remind him of romping ferrets he saw at the pet store yesterday. Alarm washes over him too momentarily, but then he remembers his action figure. Craning backwards, he reaches down and grabs him. He smiles at the plastic toy. It's a comfort. Looking back at his mother, his eyes trace the silhouette of her face against the sunbeams, her bulbous nose like a cluster of miniature balloons, her full cheeks and large low jaw. The sun turns into a shadow creature. She's cut out of the blue sky. She's beautiful to him. To the world, she's mediocre at best, average in intelligence and beauty. She'd spent the day hiking with her boy to work off the extra weight television and fast food afford her. But I'm not average, she told herself that bright morning, putting on her Nikes. I'm not average, she whispered as she hiked the steep trail. I'm better than this, she huffed. Oscar on her shoulders as they marched to the car, hike accomplished, legs sore, head filled with happy endorphins. But now, the world ends. She scans the north. Do I go north? She sees the telltale signs of rocket trails. They shoot into the sky, disappearing into the atmosphere. There are silos up there. If they are there, the enemy...
Hi, this is Bear Bear Studios.
Stop, Rumbo. This is my significant, everybody. Say hello, Franklin.
Oh, I look dark black in this video.
You do.
Bye.
Bye. But now the world ends. She scans the north. Do I go north? She sees the telltale signs of rocket trails. They shoot into the sky, disappearing into the upper atmosphere. There are silos up there. If they are there, the enemy knows about them. There's no doubt. She guesses the distance between her and the closest rocket trail. It's fresh and thick. It's at least 30 miles away. She pities the cars filled with people rushing towards destruction. Is that too close? Phoenix is further. Phoenix will also take multiple bombs. She shivers in the sunlight. Oscar grabs her hand. 5 minutes and 30 seconds until first bombs arrive. I can't do this anymore. Good luck, America. The radio announcer signs off. There's static. More tears splash down her face. One falls, striking Oscar's hand. Frances whimpers, sitting by them now. The desert smells hold no interest. The radio comes back on. It's a song Blue remembers from childhood, from a band she used to love. She can't place them at first, but then it hits her. Erasure. We go waiting for the stars to come showering down, from Moscow to Mars, universe falling down. And that will be the first 3 chapters of Blue.